This conference will now be recorded.
Hey Amol, you there? Hey Amol, you there, Amol? He said he'll be back in 2 minutes. He's not back yet. Okay, why to waste, waste the time? Let's continue. So hope you guys can see my screen.
Yeah,
Hey,
I
can you
can.
guys see my screen? Yeah, sure. Great. So guys, we are in the last leg of our configuration, content. So think by tomorrow max we'll finish off the entire configuration, the configuration of the planning area and stuff. And from day after tomorrow we'll start with the different modules inside the IBP: demand planning, supply planning, inventory, all the stuff. So just as we are progressing, just want to quickly summarize or take you guys through the entire kind of a journey, I would say, the entire model configuration. So like how we started this entire configuration. So first we have copied the standard SAP provided planning area, right? And yeah, so we took the copy of a standard SAP planning area. So when we copy it, system copies everything that is there in that planning area. Like it copies the master data, attributes, key figures, and their calculations, and uh, and some basic operators like some basic copy operator, copy between demand planning quantity to consensus demand quantity, and like the usual best practices kind of operators. I mean, it's up to us whether to use them or whether to tweak them, whether to delete them. It's up to us. System also gives the other operators like a disaggregation operator and in the back end, based on the way that we copy it, enables that if we copy it for the demand plan. You remember that there's a small it has a five check boxes, and we checked all. Every checkbox is for one module in the IBP: demand planning, supply planning, inventory optimization, sales and operations planning, and control tower, right? Mm. So we picked up the functionalities that we want, and accordingly system would create the planning area for us. If you just pick up only demand planning area, then system copies only like maybe 70 key figures or 80 key figures. That's it. So your planning area will have 80 key figures, or maybe 6 7 master datas which were related for the demand planning, and that's it. So once we have that a copy of the planning area, then on top of it we'll start doing our configuration, like what all we did. So what we did is, once we took a copy of it, and it copies also the time profile, and yes, tomorrow we'll touch base on the time profile, how to create a time profile, how to tweak a time profile. And I also explained from my experiences that what all we did with the time profiles. Okay, so yeah. So yes, what we did then we came up with the scenario like a maintenance planning, and there's this requirement that maintenance planner will go and maintain whether a maintenance job has to happen on any resource inside a location. So for that, we thought of different attributes that would come up. Every attribute will have a specific functionality, and then we clubbed those and we try to map them diligently, that which attribute has to be part of which master data. For example, the maintenance job duration becomes a part of compound master data, which is a combination of location, resource, and maintenance job. Then only that attribute will make will make more sense, right? So yeah, so we did that. We did all that, and we mapped all the attributes. Some attributes are for reporting purposes, to for filtration purposes, like what is a maintenance type, whether it's a shutdown maintenance or preventive maintenance, and etc. So that's how, we'll also in the real implementations, that's how we come up with the attributes. I mean, just like the way you guys did it in APO. But yeah, so then what we did is we created the attributes, we created the master datas, mapped these attributes, and then we extended these master datas to the test conf2 planning area. This is the planning area we created, right? And then we started creating the key figures, and then here we created alert key figure, we created helper key figure, we created snapshot key figure, we created attribute transformation, right? I guess, I mean, yeah, it's kind of a, this thing. I know that you guys can't remember everything of all these functionalities, but at least you guys know what it does. I mean, not on a high level, but in some detail level that you guys know it. But later on, you can always reach out to the the mother of knowledge, that is Google, and get prepared for your interviews or start modeling itself. So but you guys know what's there in the store, what's there in IBP, and if you know all the weapons that you can deal with, so that you can solve your problems with this. We have seen some complex key figure calculations, like if you guys remember that if you write like if key figure xyz is equal to let's say key figure xy is equal to key figure x plus key figure. Why? So so every like y is a base planning level of that key figure, x is a base planning level of this key figure, xy is a base planning level of this key figure. So when you write any calculations inside a key figure, then system would check the union of these base planning level attributes, because what is a planning level? Planning level is nothing but the combination of master data, right? So here should also say we created planning levels. We created the planning levels, and then we have also seen, right? I mean, if you create an attribute, it made it a part of master data. But if you want the key figure data to be available on that master data, you have to extend that to the planning level first. Then only you will see that in that key figure data. For example, let's say that there is this maintenance priority, I think we did that, right? So if in the first case there is no such thing as maintenance priority, which will be like high and low, no, medium. Then we created that attribute, maintenance priority. I think we have gone through, but just repeating it, we created something called as a priority, so that and then we mapped it to a master data. And which master data we mapped? I think we mapped it to a log resource m job or something. So because one maintenance job like plumbing services could be a high priority for a manual assembler, but might not be a high priority for another kind of resource. So if that is the case, then it has to be part of this master data. And then we further extended this to the planning area, this priority attribute. And then if the final agenda is to see the maintenance activities can be viewed for our location resource. If you also want to report it at the priority level, then this maintenance key figure, whatever base planning level it has, you also have to map that to the planning level. So if you don't map this priority to the planning level, then this priority would be available only in this planning area. But that's not our requirement. Our requirement is to report this key figure at the priority of the maintenance jobs. So then it has to be a part of the planning level thus that key figure has, right? So hey Amul, you there? You're back?
Yeah, we good. I'm there.
Oh great, sure. So this is it. So we have also seen this entire this thing. And yeah, when we have also seen complex key figure calculations, and another example would be like so so let's say actually this is key figure one, and this is key figure one. Let's say this is key figure two, and this is key figure three. So we have also seen that second. So key figure 3 is at planning level X, key figure 1 is at planning level X, key figure 2 is at planning level X. But the key figure 1, the base planning level is actually at XY. So in order to use this key figure in this calculation, key figure 3, we cannot use it, because the moment I write here XY, then the union is not matching, because the input key figures has a planning level of XY, X, the union is XY, that is not matching with the output planning level, that is X. So for that, what we did, so key figure XY is equal to sum of, no, we said key figure X is equal to sum of key figure 1 XY. So we lifted this key figure 1 to an aggregated level inside the key figure 1 calculation logic, and then we used it in the key figure 3. You guys remember that? Where is that test M job? This would come in handy, guys. I mean, this would definitely come in handy, and this you guys will be doing a lot of this stuff. Where is that? Capacity consumed. You see this? So this capacity consumed is actually at weak resource location maintenance job level, because the planner will come and say one job start period. If it is one, you will take the duration. But ultimately we want to use this consumed capacity to something called as a final available capacity. But whereas final available capacity is a simple subtraction between the available capacity minus consumed capacity. Available capacity is at weak resource location, and final available is at weak resource location. But this consumed capacity is actually at a more detailed level, that is weak resource location maintenance job level. But when we are doing this calculation, we don't want to get into the maintenance job level. We just want to know that this location, this resource, what is available capacity. So the same situation that we are seeing here. So this key figure 1 is at xy level, so I cannot use it here. So what we did, so in this key figure consumed capacity, weak resource location maintenance job, it has this calculation. But and also we aggregated it to the weak resource location. This is equal to sum of maintenance resource job. So system would aggregate all the maintenance jobs and then store set value in weak resource location, and then we can use it in our this key figure calculation. So what's the bottom line? The bottom line is that you can use a key figure in other key figure calculations. If the planning level is causing some discrepancies, then you have to find a way to aggregate them or to disaggregate them, and finally utilize that. Okay, so this is all we have seen and configured. And I think after this we have also seen some um, key figure other things like key figure functionalities, I would say. Functionalities like planning notes. You guys remember, you can leave a planning note so that other planners can also see the note that is being left behind for that particular user. And we have also seen fixing the key figure values, right? So yeah, this is also we have seen. And then when you fix it, the value will not change. Even if you maintain a value at an aggregated level, this will not change. And while this is and we also seen the data integration jobs, like how we download a template of a master data and load the data there and create the CSV file and load the data integration jobs in different modes. We have seen the insert mode, and then the update mode, and then we also talked about the replace mode. So this all we have seen. And then we have spent some time on operators, right? So we have seen a copy operator, and the parameters that goes inside this copy operator. And then we have seen the disaggregate operator, and also the snapshot operator, that has been covered in the snapshot key figures. So again, how we created the operator is like when we create operator, it will not ask for the planning area. First we have to specify what is the source, what is the target, duration of the copying or disaggregation to happen, any offsets, at what level you do, etc, etc. But you have to go and attach this to the planning area definition, so that the operator is available in the Excel planning view. If you don't assign it to the planning area, then you cannot process that operator on that planning level. Okay, and so what else we have seen? We have seen the versions here. Version is a different data set altogether, and we have seen how to create a version and how to extend the key figures to a version, and then how to have a version specific master data. We have also seen the scenarios, how to create a scenario and how to share a scenario, and how it's different plan and actually maintain different plans for a particular okay. So this thing, so today we'll further explore the key figure functionalities, that is called the conversion. Conversion is both the unit of measure conversion and the currency conversion. Currency conversion comes in handy when you are dealing with the revenue key figures. Wherever there are costs, you can do a currency conversion and how this functions. And tomorrow we'll be seeing the time profiles and how to model a time profile and how to understand the time profile and some use cases that I have seen from my project. So yeah, so this is all we have seen under the configuration. I think, do we have anything else? Cover anything? Yeah, like I mean, it's there in the recording sessions. I mean, you guys can go and see the stuff. And this is a cycle that we always followed. Like whatever we did, first we defined the change in the planning model configuration. So whatever we touch, that makes the planning area inactive. Then you have to activate that, and then we import the data that we want, and then finally we use the model is ready for you to this thing. So, and let me just show you another thing quickly. So go to this planning area and details. You see the entire like the planning area, what master data are mapped, and stuff. We have also seen here the attribute as a key figure. Forgetting what all we covered. Attribute as key figure. So I saw the screen and I thought of attribute as key figure. Remember the attribute as a key figure? It's an attribute, it's a value, but that value can be copied across the time horizon, so that you can use it for calculation. We use that. That's called the job duration. So how much a maintenance activity will take, how much of time that it consumes, how much of this thing. So that's a static one. I mean, it will not vary over time. So you go and say that the oil cleaning on a robotic assembler inside plant one takes 50 hours, and 50 is 50, that's it. But you take that 50 and copy it across the horizon, so that you can use that 50 value for your consumed capacity and this and that calculations. Another classic examples would be like unit prices. So you bring a unit price of a product, and then it won't change. And it's up to you where you want to map it. If you want to map it the customer product, every every customer product. And then this thing, like the same product, like iPads, if you're selling it to Amazon, it will each get a different view. Okay, right now this is inactive. Test count 2 is active. It is changed on 18th before yesterday. It was changed and it is fine. So now let me go and this planning area. So now what I'm talking about is how to restore active instance of a planning area. Okay, so now let's see. Let's wait for this to. Okay, we are inside test count 2, and I'm saying I'm creating a new key figure. I'll say z test. Active, whatever. So here, just whatever. So you see all are active, all key figures are active, but this test active, z test active is inactive because we just created it. Let me save this. Oh, it is saying that it either has to be stored or a calculated or both for the game. I mean, that's a mandatory thing. So let's say it's stored. Okay, it's saved. Now what this key figure has done, it deactivated the planning area. So now if let it save. Okay, this got saved. This save button got grayed out. That means it's already saved. So now if I come back here, if I do a refresh here, you see there is a refresh button here. If I do a refresh here, then the planning area test conf 2 becomes inactive. Okay, we all know this. You disturb the planning area, it becomes inactive. Fine. So what's a big deal? So what's a big deal is, let's say this comes in like when you are doing the developing, and then you were supposed to do a lot of configuration, and then you wrote a key figure, or maybe you did any change, like I added an attribute, disturbed the planning level, blah blah blah. But it's throwing an error. You're activating it, it is throwing an error, and then you're trying to fix it, still it is throwing an error. But let's say you guys are supposed to complete it before the on-site comes in, before the client comes in. Like, let's say we keep a cap, like before whatever activation has to happen, it has to happen before, like 5:30 p.m. Indian time. So the entire team has to be done with their changes. Demand planning, they have to complete their thing. Supply planning, they have to complete their, like whichever team you are in, you guys have to coordinate and then complete your changes, make the planning area active. One question here: when the planning area is in inactive status, can we access the planning area? Very well, we can very well active we can very well access the planning area, but it will have the previous instance. So obviously you cannot access the key figure called z test active and then start doing some planning on z test active, because it is still inactive. So you cannot obviously access it, but the previous instance you can very well access it. Only when the planning area activation is going on, at that time no one can access the planning area. Okay. And when the planning area is
So Venkat,
inactive, there are other. Yes, go on, boss.
you can access planning area means where in Excel or I mean in this Fiori
Excel
app.
in web UI, plot some analytics on the like, I mean to say, access the data that is there inside the planning area.
Okay, so will
Okay.
it get saved then?
Yes,
So
very
let's say
well, very well.
okay, okay.
Yeah, it will save. And then analytics also, you can open, you can plot a chart, you can do some analytics on it, you can put some alert, front end web UI alert, and then you can start playing on it. You can do all that stuff. But the HCI jobs will not work, the integration jobs, because the system cannot interact with an inactive instance of the planning area. And there are other things, so you have to make the planning areas active, and the moment they say inactive, the client will also say why it is inactive. So but you couldn't able to fix it, and you cannot actually go and change. You cannot actually go and revert all the changes that you did. If it is a big change, let's say you created 4 key figures and you changed 2 planning levels, added attributes, this and that, how to deal with it? Simple. You can come here. So there is, first is create new, second is create copy, take a copy of test conf 2 and create test conf 3, whatever, save. This is export to save. This is a beautiful option. The moment you click on that, system would download the entire structure of your planning area. You want to do that? Let's do it. It would come on. Okay, it is saying hello. See, it is downloading every single thing. Let me go to the show folder. Let me today. You see, it downloaded everything inside this planning area. It downloaded attributes as key figures, general information, key figures, master data types, operators, planning area attributes, planning horizons, planning layer attributes, time profile versions. Okay, let me open this master data attributes. Okay, obviously it's a CSV file. Go to data, text columns, fixed width. Next, okay, sorry, delimited. Delimiters is semicolon. Finish. Okay. So you see, it downloads everything. So let me. So this is how you do guys do it, and this comes in hand, especially if a guy is assigned to take care of all the reportings, means all the changes that is being made on this. So put a filter. So I want to show it to you, the master data that we made. So what is it? Maintenance. You see M job. See, this is a master data that we created. It has the description is maintenance activity. It has 3 attributes: M job ID, M job technician, M job type, and data type, where varchar, and attribute length, and key, whether it's a key attribute. Maintenance job ID is a key attribute. It is a required, and all other stuff. So beautiful, right? I think I'm not sure whether this is there in APO. No, is it there in APO? Hello,
No,
anyone?
Venkat.
No, Venkat.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
No.
so yeah, forgot, this been a long time for me. So yeah, so you can download it. So like, especially when any reporting is done, so sometimes this comes in handy. So I'll tell you from my real experience. The product IDs is a numeric one which the S4 master data governance team generates. It's a random number. It follows a naming convention. I mean, we all know it. It's almost like some 15 digit or 12 digit number, I think. So, and obviously the business will go crazy, and the business will, they see the product ID, it will have a 0012, blah 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 blah. They are like, no idea. So they wanted, so wherever there is a product ID, they also want a product description attribute to be there. The product description is there only in the product master data, but not in other master data. For example, in the transportation lane, you will not have a attribute called as a product description. Or like in the unit of measure conversion also, we'll see that in a while. We configure that unit of measure. It says what is a product ID, what is a target unit of measure you want to convert it, and what is the exchange, what is a UM conversion factor. So there you will see that this is a product. If you're converting it to cases, it is zero point 0.6. If you're converting it to pallet, it is 0.11 or something. If it is eaches, it is 1, etc. But they also want to see the product description there. The requirement is this: they'll say, please extend product description attribute to all the master data wherever there is a product ID. So how we do that? That's kind of a manual labor kind of activity. You go here and then you expand this, or maybe go to the master data, check one by one. So but with this option, so what you can do is, you just come here and open the master data. So PRD ID is the product ID name, and PRD DSC is the product description. So if I select this, you see only the couple is coming only in here, but not in the batch product, not in customer product, not in anywhere. So only the product ID is there. So with this, this is simple, right? It becomes simple. So now you just take a copy of all this and then start extending it from the master data. And then, once you're done with it, take another download of your dump. So you see a timestamp on there, the name of it, test conf2 underscore master data types underscore 2019 6 June 20, and 240 is the timestamp. So you can download that, take a dump of it, and then you can keep on uh, so you guys got it. So yeah, this comes in real handy, and especially with the key. So sometimes business comes and says, okay, I want all the list of key figures, and then this and that. So it becomes a kind of a big task. Like, how can you just click on one key figure and then copy this and put it in Excel, copy the name, put it in Excel, specify whether it's editable or not, go to another key figure. Big task. Just download the copy, download the entire planning area structure CSV file, and then pick up the stuff, because there are 528 key figures in this planning area. You see this here. So this is one secret feature which no one knows. Yeah, so okay, now we are in attribute as key figures. Let me remember, we did this for the job duration. Where is that location resource M job? So here job, this was M job duration. This is attribute as a key figure. We said from periods is 0, to period is 52. That means from current period to next 52 periods, it has to do the changes. And here it is active instance, it is A. So yeah, this is how we do it. I think we got sidelined, but yeah, where were we? Save, download, export to CSV, refresh your planning area, check your planning area. So if I do a check, I'll say check has started. See the log for results. So the log will fail. Why? Because in the key figure the calculation is wrong, whatever we said. This is not an activation but a simple check. Activation takes a lot of time, check is quick. Check just checks the integrity of the planning area, and then the mapping and the core calculation logics or configurations, etc., whether they are right or not. It just checks that. You can come to application logs here and then can verify the check. So it is red, you see, failed. So it says that, see, this is error. Go and put a filter on error. Calculation Z test octavo that we created at the request, it must be stored or calculation must exist. So remember, even at that request level, we have to specify whether it's a stored or active. So you click on long test, it will give a this thing, so kind of procedure about what you need to do. So we said that it's a stored key figure, but we didn't check that, so that's why check gives a quick result. And this green button itself is activate. You click on that active. So now see this is a one. It says click this button to delete active instance. The deletion takes place when the object is activated again. Okay, this, not this, will commit later. Say this delete inactive instance, revert inactive changes, and reset to active status. Great, click on this. The planning levels and key figures for this planning area will also be deleted. Okay, this error is wrong, guys. I mean, don't go with this error. This is a bug that system has to fix it. Click on yes, it refreshes, and then it becomes active again. You see the timestamp here, 620. That means I just changed it now. That's why the timestamp is 620. Now I reverted it. It goes back to 618. And that key figure that we created, it would be wiped out. Whatever new changes that you made, they all get wiped out.
Hey Punita, this is regarding my last trip, and
Hey, I think Amal,
I
you are not on.
think I
Yes, guys. So this is how you restore the active instance. That's fine, Amal. Uh, Come back quickly. So yeah, you see the test config 2. Okay, it is still showing that the active last change is on 620, but the test conf 2 became active instance. So if I go and search for that Z active key figure, it will not be available. So this is how you restore your active instance. You see, there is no Z test active. It's all gone. Okay. So yeah. So now let's focus on this unit of measure conversion, guys. Okay. So if I open, so all the standard key figures has this configuration already done. So I want to pick up a key figure. Yeah, it has a calculation to it. Whatever. So see here, this key figure called as a consensus demand quantity. This is a weak prod log customer. So here you see this convert using. Here you see that you are converting it to the UOM conversion factor. And at the request level also, it is at the UOM2. Okay, so this is how you configure the unit of measure calculation to a key figure. So not all key figures are required to do a unit of measure conversion. There will be some key figures which the business is interested to see the unit of measure conversion. So this key figure consensus demand quantity can be viewed in multiple unit of measures for a single product. Number one. Number two, we have to explicitly come and write the calculation logic here. So the base planning level is week prod log customer every week for every product for every location and customer. So this is a calculation logic. So here it is saying that if consensus demand is null, that means there are no values, then copy SOP demand planning quantity. If if it is there, then copy the consensus demand quantity itself. Okay, so now you have the values ready at the week product log customer level, but you also write another calculation logic, that is week prod log customer UOM2, that is equal to UOM conversion factor into consensus demand quantity. Then the multiplication between the conversion factor and this thing will give you UOM2, and then you actually use the same at the request level. So now let me open it and then we'll see from the front end, from a user perspective, how things would be. So there is another key figure called as a consensus demand. This is not, there is no unit of measure conversion. You see, there is no convert using. So it is just week prod customer. Now you see the difference between those two now. Now before that, let me just see the master data. Okay, I think we have two products, SKU X1, X2. Okay, locations, there are so many, plant, RDC. Customers also Amazon, Target, eBay. Good. Now let me maintain the master data, key figure data first. So as usual, we click on master data and click on this planning objects with key figure data. It will ask for the planning level. Give that week prod log customer. Weekly product location customer, edit mode, base version obviously. Pick up the time frame. There are 35 key figures. We're not interested in all. We are interested only in consensus demand plan quantity and also the consensus demand. Where is that? Okay, that is at that's a different planning level. So that's a week broadcast. Fine. So let's first maintain this. Oh, there are already the plan. Oh, okay. Now let me maintain for this Amazon thing. Let's say 100 here. 100, 100. Saving it. So there is some data so that we can view it on our planning view. 5 records changed, all successful, great. Again going back. Now I'll pick up the week prod customer. Oh, monthly prod customer came in. We want week prod customer. There are 12 key figures. We want only consensus demand. Great. Here also we have some good. Save it. Okay. We have some data now. Now let me go to the maintenance planning. Editing the view. I don't want to see all this stuff. First, let me open the week. Yeah, so what I did, I gave the planning level, gave the time frame, gave the consensus demand. There are no filters. I click on OK. System would easily smoothly show me the data that I have maintained in the backend. Great. SKU X1, Amazon is 100, target is 300, eBay is 200. Fine, very well. Now let me open the that consensus demand quantity. So that is at product customer location. See this one. So now if I click on OK, system will throw me an error. It says that current conversion factor for target unit of measure is not found, but it has been configured to be used for key figures. Key figure consensus demand plan quantity. Ask your administrator to check the planning recommendation. So it is saying that here you see this thing called target unit of measure. So system would force you to pick up one target unit of measure. Why? Because that is what you have written here. You're saying at where is that demand planning? Yeah, so here you see consensus demand quantity at request level. This is at the UOM2. So you cannot bypass this. So you have to pick up the and also here it is saying convert using unit of measure. So you have to pick up a conversion factor. So now there are no conversion factors. So let me maintain the conversion factors. Go here, master data. There is a master data called. First, you have to maintain unit of measure 2. First, you have to maintain target unit of measure, edit mode, and then unit of measure conversion factor, edit mode. Saying no data found, that's fine. So go here, target unit of measure is let's say cases and pallets. So in my, I do planning based on this, 2 unit of measures, I'm saying it. So this would come from S4 system. We don't have to worry. So now this is where the conversion factor. So here we have 3, and the yellow ones are the key ones. There's a star mark also here, mandatory ones. You have to give a product, and then when it is transforming it to the target unit of measure, what is the conversion factor? So let's go and pick up the. This is a SKU 1. Target unit of measure is cases and pallets.
Yeah, Venkat.
Hey, tell me, boss.
Yeah, what is that? What is that version column in B?
So this, I mean, you remember like we can maintain data for multiple versions, right? So
Correct.
who's
Yeah,
this?
but that was in key figure, right? I mean, we did it
Hey,
in
Amul. Okay.
I guess.
No, Amul, I mean, remember we have maintained some version specific master data also. Like, once you say that this version will have its own master data, so every version will have its own master data. So you remember like base version has only oil servicing and dry cleaning and stuff. But whereas in the other version, I also maintained something called plumbing activity. So that plumbing
Yeah.
activity record is only meant for that version. So just like that here, system always asks for that what version you're maintaining this master data.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So these records, so in base version I can have this conversion, but in upside version I can have another conversion. So I mean, which will not make sense, but the point is that every version can have its own master data. So the key figures in that version will have a different data based on the data that we maintain here. So okay, so okay, we'll see that also. Now let me maintain save here. First I'm saving it. Okay, we'll see that also. Let me master data workbook. So instead here now I'll say aggregate planning. See, only 2 are coming in because we marked only one version will have the version specific master data. So aggregate planning, I'm opening this, and also here aggregate planning. So now it is saying that there are no data here. So it is saying, I'll say here, cases and pallets. So here I'll give 0.2 and 0.1. Rejected. Why? Download full report. It has to be an integer, not a. Oh no, it can take the decimal. What's the big deal? Check that matching values exist in the object product ID. Next one. Okay. It is. Oh, come on. So it is saying that in that version, there is no such thing as a SKUX1. So so the product itself are not there. Then I need to maintain the whole product ID, not in the base version, but in the aggregate planning. See, it is saying no data found. That means in that the version, there are no products, there are no customers, there is nothing. So, okay. So we talked about it, Amal, in detail. We even did the version copy from one version to other version, and all the stuff. So you can just refer back those videos. Okay. So, okay, now let's come back. I maintained. Yeah, but the point here is this: that if you say that one version will have its own master data, then the structure remains the same. So if you say that maintenance job master data will have three attributes: maintenance job ID, maintenance technician, maintenance priority, or maintenance type, whatever. So the structure remains same, but the values can be different in like to that particular version. So you can have that version can have its own values for that master data, and it can have values for the key figures that it will have. So that's a whole thing. So now I'm coming here. So I'll say also bring location. Ah, this is a one. So now if I click on target unit of measure, it is giving me two options. I'll say cases. Now it is showing multiplied by hundreds, and it is showing this value. So and you can, if you want to see that what so there is this CS also, that right now you are viewing it in CS, but if you want to see, you can also bring that up in the planning level. So you say base unit of measure and target unit of measure. So you pick this, you put this right beside to that product. How come it is none? Didn't I maintain the base unit of measure of this thing? One second, guys. uh, Product master data. Think I forgot to maintain a base unit of measure. It's not a mandatory thing, it's just there. Okay, there is no main base unit of measure. Let's say the base is EA, that is eaches. You saved the attribute values, come back here, give a refresh. You need to wait for that pop-up to come in. It says that it's got saved. Refresh. Okay, the SKUX1, the base is eaches. For this combination, you are viewing it cases, so that's why the values are this. So if you want to view it in pallets, I think we gave forgetting the conversion factor that we gave. But yeah, come back here and you say I want to see it in pallets. So it's pallets and the values got changed on the fly. Okay, so if you want this thing to be there just right beside to it, so you can also say that, come to the layout and you say that this comes in the last, key figure comes in here. I'm changing the layout of the planning view. So like this is how it appears, so that you guys can compare the unit of measure conversions. Okay, so we have seen from front end, like how to deal with this. So now let's go back to the back end, what all stuff are there. So now this unit of measure conversion factor, it's a master data. Obviously we have seen it. So it has three attributes. One is a product, and then unit of measure. See this C0 to U conversion matter, it's a compound master data. It has been made of two different master datas. First master data is the product master data. Second master data is UOM2 master data. So you remember we maintain the target unit of measure also first. So first we have to maintain that what all unit of measures that you want to view your data in. So once you maintain that, then you come here, then you give that combination, what is your product ID, and then what is your target unit of measure to array, and then unit of measure conversion factor. You gave a value there. So so now if I so this configuration comes when you do a copy. So all these master data will get copied. So you just have to do only one thing, that so what you have to do. So first what we have to do is you have to first maintain base unit of measure. I mean, you don't have to maintain this also, but just maintain a base unit of measure, and then maintain a target unit of measure. So we maintain cases and pallets, and then save it, and then maintain unit of measure conversion factor master data. So this is where you give product ID, and then the target unit of measure, and then the UOM conversion factor also. So that's it. And in the planning view, under the KF section, there is a target UOM drop down, and then that's it. Pick up the target unit of measure. So system does the calculation on the fly. Now I'm going to the planning area details, and I also want to show you something here. So you see the UOM conversion factor actually is an attribute, is a key figure. It's not a key figure, it's attribute as a key figure. So that's why the value that you maintain in the target unit of measure, where is that? So I'm telling you guys the back end, how system is working. So you gave just a value of 10 here, and then so let's say you maintain the value of 0. Oh, come on, edit mode. So you maintain the value of 0.1 here, and you save it. Come back here. Okay, this is in pallets. Okay, great. You change the value in. Come on. It showed all multiplied by this thing. I hope it is editable. taking a lot of time. Should have kept this here. Just saying the planning layer you want to because you bought this here, you should not. I mean, you have to take this off. So this is just for reporting purposes. But anyway, so let me come back here. So what I'm trying to show you is that that static value that you just maintained there, that would be applied to the entire horizon, like the entire future buckets. How we did it? Because it is marked as a concern, as an attribute, as a key figure. So you see here, I'll maintain 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, then saving it. Now if I come back here, system does divided by 0.1. So that's why we'll see 20, 30, 40, 50. 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Because it is multiplying it with 0.1, but I maintain just a static value called 0.1 here, which is just an attribute called conversion factor, a decimal type attribute, which is part of master data called a conversion factor. But system did all that because it is marked as an attribute, as a key figure. So in the planning area under the selected attributes, it will show all the attributes that are selected. But if you flip to attribute as key figures, where is this UOM? Yeah, see UOM conversion factor. So this UOM conversion factor attribute is marked as a key figure. That's why this is 0. So 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 that's why it becomes a key figure called unit of measure conversion factor. But here there is no time dimension. You see the planning level, it is just prod UOM2. So what's the point here? So you can create a key figure without any time dimension. But when you create a key figure without any time dimension, you cannot view it on the planning view. I cannot now here ask for the unit of measure conversion. System will not display it because there is no time dimension, because the key figures are a time series 1 to display it on. So it will not come in. See this UOM conversion factor, when I search for it, it will not come in. Why? Because it is not time dimension. Then why the heck he has created it prod UOM2 level? Because we don't want this at a time dimension, right? So it remains that static value, the same value would be present across the horizon. So there is no need to configure this at a week or at a day or at a month. It is just product UIM2. Now pick this up. Now come here. Where is our consensus? So you wrote the calculation for consensus demand quantity at week prod log cust, and you're just multiplying it with the conversion factor, and the result comes and sits here in another planning level that is called week prod log cust UIM2. So that's it. That's how you play with your unit of measure conversions. Now let's go to the revenue key figures. Typing REF, enter. So there is something called actuals revenue here. So actuals revenue, you can see here, this is converted using exchange rate. Same concept, exchange rate, multiply with the exchange rate to get the actuals revenue, and exchange rate is also an attribute as a key figure coming from the some master data. So let's open that. Let's also maintain target unit of measure currency, target currency, maintain currency, and then exchange rate. So here there would be a difference because here there is no product dimension, obviously, right? So currency ID is it a 3-digit, or let's see, what is this? 5-digit. Okay, rupee, dollar, and something, pound. So it is saying rupee. Now I'm bad with this math. So I'll say dollar. The dollar is the currency, and if you're converting it to rupee, then it becomes 70. If pound is the currency, and if you're converting it to rupees, it is like, let's say 100. Save it. Now maintain actuals revenue key figure, and then see the currency conversion happening. What is the planning level for it? It's weak prod log cost currency. Saying no data found, that's fine. Product is QX1. The key figure name is actuals revenue. The currency ID is say dollar. This 1000. Saving it. And also I'll maintain a currency between this dollar to pound. Dollar to pound is zero point 0.8 or something. Okay, so now I'll in the planning view I'll bring up that actuals revenue. Now let's take off this base unit of measure. There will not be any unit of measures here. Actuals revenue, I click on OK, it will throw an error because select a currency. So if I select dollar, then I'll see the base values. I mean the values that we have loaded in the backend. One second. So you see the values are coming to 0.8 because we gave a 1000, but the currency conversion is 0.8. So now if I open it in rupees, or the values get exploded. Not this rupee. It gets multiplied with 75, and it becomes 75,000 something, 70,000. Okay, so yeah, this is how you configure you don't have to configure anything, so it is there already. So I'll show it to you if you want to create some Z test, let's say planned production. So weak prod log, let's say. The key figure name is planned production, and you say it's a stored, it's a system editable, let's say. So but now you want to view this, and you want the conversion to happen. So Z test plan production at the weak prod log into the UOM conversion factor. You start typing it, system would give it to you. Now, if I do a validate, system would throw an error because the union of attributes of all input planning levels should be equal to all attributes of output planning levels. What's the big deal here? The big deal is that here this key figure is having weak prod log, this key figure is having prod UOM2, but the union is not matching with this weak prod log. That's why you have to change it to weak prod log UOM2. Now it will validate, and then two key figures have been selected. One is planned production stored value, conversion factor stored value. Click on OK. Now this is done. So now you have to come here and convert using, you will say that you are converting unit of measure conversion is what you are converting this key figure with. Another change at the request level, you have to say whenever any user is requesting, he always have to request at the unit of measure. So click on this thing, validate, and then it's not a stored value. Because why? Because this planning level is getting calculated. Weak prod log is a stored value, no doubt in that, but when you're multiplying with unit of measure, that becomes a calculated value. That's why it is not stored. Then save it, and then you can view it at the target unit of measure. So that's about the conversion, guys. So this is what you have to do when you're creating a new custom key figure, and if there is a requirement to view that key figure at multiple unit of measure, so you have to do this. If it is a standard key figure, the configuration is already there. Okay. So tomorrow we'll talk about the time profiles, and after that we'll start getting into the demand planning and stuff. Okay, guys. Okay, then we'll catch up tomorrow. Any doubts, please feel free to shoot tomorrow. Thanks, guys.